Hi, 514th Air Mobility Wing. Welcome to the Wellness 52 presentation for the September UTA, presented by the 514th Airman Family Readiness Center. My name is Master Sergeant Derek Tarosa. Last month, we talked about leaders and followers, in particular, what makes an effective follower. This month, we have a totally different topic, and we're going to talk about physical fitness. It is part one in our series related to Fit to Fight and the fitness test. And part two will cover nutrition, but part one, we're going to talk about physical fitness. Glad to have you here today, and let's just get right into it. Here's a quick overview. After a brief introduction, we're going to talk about exercise benefits, some of the energy systems in the body, different types of muscle fibers, how to structure a training plan, and then we'll get into the specifics as it relates to the Fit to Fight test. The muscular component, that's the push-ups and sit-ups. The aerobic component, that's the 1.5-mile run. We'll give you some motivation, and then we'll wrap things up, including talking about the 514th Air Mobility Wing Fitness Club, which is a new initiative that hopefully you'll join and take part in. Glad to have you here. Here we go. If you didn't work out today, what's your reason? Are you too busy? Was it too early? Was it too late? Is the gym too expensive? Is it too cold outside? Is it too hot outside? Are you too hungry? Are you too full? Is it too boring? Are you too old? Are you too sore? Are you too tired? Is it too dark? It's so easy to make excuses, and we've all been there. But you really, if you want to change your life, you have to make a committed and dedicated effort. You have to put in the time and the work. And when you do, you will gain extraordinary results. I promise you. If you commit to a training plan, you will see extraordinary results. But you do have to make that commitment. It's not about having time. It's about making time. And it's about being mental and physically tough to put in the work, no matter the conditions, no matter how you're feeling, to get it done. And when you do, you'll see remarkable results. I promise you that. So hopefully this presentation gives you some motivation and some tools to use so that you can change your life and see a difference in yourself. The important thing is it's not just about passing the fitness test here. It's about being healthy for yourself first and foremost, but also for your family, for your loved ones, and for your friends, because they want to see you healthy and they want you to be around, and you want to increase your lifespan and the quality of your life. And that really, the biggest difference you can make is doing physical exercise. So let's move on. What is physical fitness? As defined by the Oxford Dictionary of Sports Sciences and Medicine, it is the ability to function efficiently and effectively, to be healthy, to resist disease, and to cope with emergency situations. There are several categories: flexibility, cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance, strength training, and sports-specific skills. Sports-specific skills meaning if you play on a team sport like football or hockey, that would include sports-specific skills. Individual sports as well, but just to give you an idea of what that means. The benefits of exercise, and there are so many benefits. As far as strength training, that means weightlifting or calisthenics, any weight-bearing movement. That strengthens your bones, it improves your posture and flexibility. It helps you perform everyday tasks like pushing, pulling, and lifting with greater ease and ability. Cardiovascular training, so good for improving your vital organs like the heart and lungs. It lowers your blood pressure. It boosts HDL, that's the good cholesterol. LDL is the bad cholesterol. You want that to be low and you want the HDL to be high. It enhances your immune system. It increases circulation, and it lowers the risk of heart attacks, disease, and stroke. Aside from the physical benefits, there are so many mental and emotional benefits. It's a great stress reliever. It increases endorphins. Those are those feel-good hormones. So that reduces your anxiety and improves your mood. It treats depression and boosts self-esteem. self-confidence. It relieves tension, helps us relax, and improves quality of sleep. Not only that, but exercise, when you commit to an exercise plan, it really, it brings skills to your life, soft skills that you can use at work and with your relationships. For example, when you commit yourself to something, that means you're driven. You're driven towards a goal. You're passionate. Time management is very critical to fit time in the day, to get your workout in on top of everything else you have going on. That builds time management skills. Your self-confidence improves dramatically when you see yourself performing at a higher level, when you see your body changing. And all of that requires a strong work ethic and discipline and goal setting. Communication is if you play on a team sport, communication is a skill that's vital to the success of the team. And then, of course, persistence, being resilient. Persistence and resilience, that's when it's too cold outside, or it's late, or it's early, or you're not really in the mood, but you get it done. Self-control, of course, relates as well, and teamwork, which goes with communication. As we get into the specifics of physical fitness and exercise, due to different energy systems and muscle fibers in the body, when you think of an athlete, maybe you're thinking of a bodybuilder, powerlifter, sprinter, or marathoner, but think about what type of bodies these people have. They're all different, and that's because of the energy systems and the muscle fibers. So when you think of a bodybuilder, you see someone with huge muscles like Arnold, clearly well-defined. Powerlifter, on the other hand, not so much. Powerlifter is known for pure strength, and the muscle fibers, as you see here, you can't really, his muscles aren't clearly defined. Sprinter, on the other hand, uses an energy system that requires type 2 muscle fibers, and we'll get into type 1 and type 2 in a second. But as you can see, sprinters, they have clearly defined muscle. Marathoner, on the other hand, not so much. They use type 1 or slow twitch muscle fibers. So as you can see there, these are all athletes that are excelling at the top of their sport, but they have different body types. They're all in good shape, but I mean, looks are one thing, and you can't only see it, but we'll get into why these body types, these body images are different. Getting into it, we'll start with aerobic. The aerobic energy system, it means with air. That's because the fuel source is oxygen, and the waste products are carbon dioxide and water. Typically, the aerobic system is used in low to moderate intensity activities, but they must be continuous, of at least 2 minutes in duration. These type of activities use type 1 muscle fibers, which are smaller, but they're more fatigue resistant, so you can continue doing them for a longer time. Aerobic activities increase your endurance. The cardiovascular benefits are that it strengthens the heart muscle, strengthens and enlarges the heart muscle, improves circulation, reduces blood pressure, strengthens the lungs and facilitates the flow of oxygen, increases the total number of red blood cells in mitochondria, helps prevent blood clots, and reduces the risk of diabetes. Performance benefits of aerobic activities are that it enhances endurance and stamina, increases thresholds for lactic acid, improves recovery time, reduces fat, increases your metabolic rate, which means you burn more calories throughout the day, reduces stress and boosts mental performance. Limitations of aerobic activity: that does not build strength, power, or speed, may cause muscle loss, it may cause sprains and other injuries. Types of aerobic exercise. It's like the basic one is running, cycling, as you hear, playing tennis, any cardiovascular exercise, rowing, just walking, ice skating, things of that nature. They're continuous activities, low intensity, well, not necessarily totally low intensity, low to moderate intensity, and they're long in duration, over 2 minutes. The other energy system is the anaerobic energy system. The anaerobic energy system means without air. Instead of oxygen for fuel, the body uses glucose and glycogen, that's sugar or carbs, that are stored either in the liver or in the muscle or in the bloodstream. The waste product is lactic acid. That's that burning sensation you feel when you're on your last rep or when you're doing a sprint. It's that very painful burning sensation is lactic acid. Your body can't clear it fast enough. That's why it builds up and you have to stop. So these are moderate to high intensity activities. They're very short in duration, the short bursts, short and powerful bursts of activity. These are type 2 muscle fibers. Type 2 muscle fibers are much larger, but they're less resistant to fatigue. So that's why you can only do these anaerobic activities for generally 2 minutes or less. But it's a curve, and I'll show you on the next slide how the body uses a mixture of energy systems. It's not purely aerobic or purely anaerobic. It uses a combination of both. It's never 50-50. But going back to anaerobic, it increases strength and muscle mass. The benefits are that it lowers blood sugar, increases bone density, improves posture, improves blood circulation, and increases your metabolism. Continuing with the benefits, strength, power, and speed, muscle mass, improves physical appearance, boosts metabolic rate. Limitations: must be performed with periods of rest, not as effective for directly burning fat, may cause injuries to joints or tendons, and may, of course, cause muscle soreness. So these are like weightlifting, sprinting, calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, isometrics, planks, wall squats, static exercises, and any kind of interval activity where there's breaks. It's not a continuous activity. Here's the chart I was mentioning. There's actually more than 2 energy systems, but I just wanted to focus on the main 2 because the other one is ATP, and that is very, very short in duration, usually only 10 seconds or less. So that was what the power lifter would be using, mostly the ATP energy system. The glycolysis energy system is the anaerobic energy system, and that is the one that uses the breakdown of carbs and sugars for fuel. As you can see, the aerobic system is more fatigue, less resistant to fatigue, so it's more of a smooth line there on the chart, whereas the other 2 energy systems, there's a steep drop off after your energy stores are utilized. And also, as I mentioned, it's not 50-50. These energy systems are all working simultaneously together. We'll get more into the glycolysis and our anaerobic energy system in the next presentation. We focus on nutrition and talk more about carbohydrates and how those are used, and getting you set up on a good nutrition plan just in general, and also as it relates to exercise. Getting into the muscle fibers now. As mentioned earlier, type 1 or slow twitch, those are primarily used in aerobic activities. They have the slowest contractile speed, the highest oxidative or aerobic capacity, low glycolytic anaerobic capacity, long, low intensity endurance activities, or high repetitions, or 15 plus reps. Say you're doing push-ups or you're doing any kind of weight exercise. Generally more than 15, you'll switch to your type 1 or slow twitch muscle fibers. And of course, running, cycling, you're going to be using your slow twitch muscle fibers. Type 2B or fast twitch. There's 2 type 2, that's why it says type 2B. There's 2 kinds, but we're just going to focus on the type 2B. Those are the fast twitch. fastest contractile speeds, high glycolytic anaerobic capacity, low oxidative or aerobic capacity, short, high-intensity activities like sprinting, bodybuilding, and powerlifting, low repetitions, 6 to 15. Below 6 are using that ATP energy system. I realize this might be a little bit more detailed than is necessary, but I think it's interesting to give a little background information so that you know what you're working out depending on the type of exercise you're doing, what type of muscles you're using, and especially so that when you're doing your goal setting or goal planning, you know what to focus on. As we get into training, setting SMART goals, you've heard this many times, but specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely goals. For example, score excellent on the US Air Force Fitness Test, lose 15 pounds, grow biceps 1 inch, improve bench press 25 pounds, increase running endurance by 30 minutes, complete a marathon. These are all goals, but they're not SMART goals. So the SMART goal comes into play when you actually design your training plan. So how are you going to get to excellent on the Air Force Fitness Test? How are you going to lose 15 pounds? How are you going to structure your training, your nutrition to get there? And how are you going to measure your progress too along the way and adjust if necessary? Is it realistic? All of these things come into play when you're setting SMART goals. For example, I have on the bottom here is a goal I made several years ago to do my first half Ironman triathlon. I said I will complete my first 70.3 Ironman race in Old Orchard Base, Maine on August 26, 2017 with a finish time of 5 hours and 30 minutes or better by weightlifting 2 times, swimming 2 times, cycling 4 times, and running 3 times per week over the next 3 months in accordance with a workout intensity and volume in my training plan. Structuring the training plan. There's 3 components to training. Intensity, that's the degree of effort. You can think about it as the percentage of your maximum heart rate if you're doing an aerobic activity. We'll get into that later on how to calculate that. The duration, how long you perform the exercise, and the frequency, how often you do the exercise. So when you're designing a training plan, you want to take these 3 components into consideration. Training principles, specificity. Your plan must match your goal, activity, or sport. So you want to run a marathon, don't, cycle, focus on running because you're going to be running different muscles. For example, Lance Armstrong, I think, he was a great cycler, and then he ran a marathon and he did awful because his body wasn't used to the running movement. His muscles weren't used to running. They were used to cycling. So that's just one example. Overload, you need to push yourself for adaptation. You need to create stress. In order for your muscles to grow, you need to stress them, you need to stretch them, you need to break them down. And you only do that by overloading them. So it can't be easy. You have to push yourself and challenge yourself. Progression, gradually increasing either the intensity, the duration, or the frequency. That's the components. That's important too. If it's too easy, bump the weights up a little bit. If it's too easy, increase the distance a little bit. Gradually, of course. You don't want to do too much too soon. They risk burnout, overtraining, injuries, etc. Talking about the maximum heart rate. Your body has different heart rate zones. Your maximum heart rate, a quick and easy calculator, or a quick and easy method to calculate your maximum heart rate, which is useful to kind of structure and design your training, is to take the number 220 and subtract your age. And that'll give you your maximum heart rate. So that, for example, 220, if you're 30 years old, your maximum heart rate is 190. This is just a rough estimate. If you want a better calculator, please visit the site on the bottom there. There's more intense calculators out there. This is just a basic one to give you a general idea of what your maximum heart rate is. And then to determine your training zones, there's usually 5 of them, but there's other methods out there but this is just keeps it easy for now. So maximum would be 171 beats per minute to 190 beats per minute. Hard would be 152 to 171. Moderate, 133 to 152. And light, 114 to 133. Very light, 95 to 114. Very light, that's walking. Light, that would be like a slow jog. Moderate, you're jogging. Hard, you're going pretty fast above a jog, not necessarily sprinting, but maximum you'd probably be sprinting. Depending on what your goal is, this comes in handy. The chart gives a good breakdown here and what your goal is and what zone you should be targeting. It really helps to have a fitness watch, a smartwatch, to track your heart rate. If not, it's okay, but it's really helpful to have. There's also a lot of free phone applications that you can use, not necessarily track your heart rate, but just to track your running distance and things like that. Before starting any exercise, make sure you warm up. The days of static stretching, there's mixed opinions on that. I like to do a dynamic stretching workout, and we'll get into that in a second. But the importance of warming up is that it releases adrenaline, it gets your body prepared for exercise, it raises your heart rate, pumps oxygen into the blood, increases your body temperature, your blood vessels begin to dilate, and it improves your range of motion. It prepares you mentally and physically for activity. But every process is an individual process, and it's important to experiment with what works for you. To view guidelines on how to structure warm-up. General warm-up, that's just doing a light movement that's designed to elevate your heart rate and respiratory rate. It's very short in duration. It's enough to work up a light sweat. For example, light walking, jogging, cycling, jumping rope, etc. Dynamic stretching and light calisthenics. That helps prepare the muscles for activity by improving flexibility, extending range of motion, and preventing injury. Be careful not to overextend though, that may cause injury. You should do enough repetitions to feel moderately intense stretch and burn. These things this can include arm rotations and swings, leg rotations and swings, side bends and rotations, alternating toe touches, bodyweight squats, lunges, push-ups, etc. And then you want to get into your specific warm-up. So that's your specific exercise, workout, or activity. And you do that by gradually increasing the weight, load, or speed. Okay, here we go. As it relates to the fitness test and the workout and the muscular component, this is just a guide that you can use for your training plan if you'd like. You don't have to follow it by any means, but it's something that worked for me in my preparation for the fitness test. Of course, by now you probably know the proper form, but there's a chart on the right there. If not, I like to do 3 workouts per week at least to prepare myself for the push-up component. Also the sit-up component as well. So this includes push-ups and sit-ups. The first workout I like to do is endurance sets. To structure this, what you would do is the maximum amount of repetitions you can in 20 seconds. So you need a stopwatch or your phone to time yourself. Do the maximum amount of reps you can in 20 seconds. Rest a minute, and then repeat that 4 to 6 times. What you should do is keep a training log. So know how many push-ups you got. First time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, etc. And then compare that, compare each set with each other. Obviously, on the 5th set, you're going to be doing less in 20 seconds than on the first set. But track your progress, especially week to week. Are you doing more week to week? You'll be seeing improvement. And then so that's why it's good to track and log it so you can see how you're doing and how you're improving. And of course, you can always adjust the difficulty by decreasing the duration. You can make, or if it's too difficult, you can move it from 20 seconds, 15 seconds, or you can make it harder, moving it to 25 seconds, 30 seconds, maximum amount of repetitions. The sets, the rest, you can increase your rest, you can reduce your rest. And so that's where that training component, the intensity, duration come into play. The next workout I like to do is pyramid sets. These are a little bit more complicated. What you would do is do 10 repetitions. There's no time limit. Do 10, rest 10 seconds, then do 9 repetitions, rest 9 seconds, do 8 repetitions, rest 8 seconds, and so on until you reach 1 rep and 1 second rest. Then go back up the pyramid, do 1 rep, 1 second rest, 2 reps, 2 second rest, all the way up to 10. But I'll take a rest in between if you need one. If not, it's okay. And if it gets too difficult, then it's okay to rest longer. You don't have to do, the more important thing is that you're doing the reps. So for example, if you do 5 reps and 5 second rest is too small, just increase your rest time. It's all about putting in the reps. And then you can adjust the difficulty as well, the starting point. Instead of starting with 10 reps, maybe start with 5, go to 1 to 5, or you can change the amount of sets. You can do, 2 sets of this, 3 sets, 4 sets, etc. Of course, log it just like with the endurance sets. Log the pyramid sets and see how you're improving week to week. It really boosts your motivation when you see yourself improving. There's no doubt you will. So write those numbers down. Lastly, I like doing weighted sets. Grab a 5 to 10, 20-pound weight. You can use a vest or a backpack and do 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Rest 60 seconds between each set. Same thing, adjust difficulty if necessary, less weight, more weight. Repetitions, try to keep the repetitions maximum 15, but change the rest time as well. So you can use this for sit-ups too. So these 3 workouts, the weighted sets are a little more difficult with sit-ups, but be careful too. Don't strain or injure yourself. Try it out, and then if it works, keep on doing it. The aerobic component. This is the 1.5 mile run. The thing with the 1.5 mile run is, in order to improve your time, you have to put the work in. And it won't take much. 4 to 6 weeks of preparing for the 1.5 mile run, I guarantee you will pass. You will succeed. If you do 3 runs per week, at least a minimum 3 runs per week for 4 to 6 weeks, you will pass the test. But you have to put in the time. You have to make time. If you don't, you have to make time to do it. There's 3 workouts that will really greatly improve your aerobic fitness. The first one is interval sets. These are hard intensity. So if you go back to the maximum heart rate, calculate that, and 90%, 80 to 100% of your maximum heart rate is what you should hit on these sets. So these are sprints, 400-meter intervals with 2-minute rests. It's helpful if you have a watch or a phone app to track distance. What you would do is you would do a light warm-up. I would jog about half a mile. Then you would start your intervals. So, start your interval, do 400-meter interval, and then you can, after the 400 meters, you can walk, rest 2 minutes, and then repeat it. Repeat it 5 times. So 5 400-meter repeats in week 1, 6 in week 2, and so on. If it's too difficult, start lower. If it's too easy, do more. But these are great. They really improve your lactate threshold. The workout number 2 is the threshold run. This is moderate intensity. Think of a threshold run as, actually it's more like your fitness test pace. But go back to that chart, and that's what your heart rate should be. Threshold run, you want to do like a quarter-mile run, warm up, slow jog. You want to run 15 minutes in week 1, 20 minutes in week 2, 25 in week 3, and so on. And then always cool down. So this run should be tough. It should be hurting. You should be hurting with this run. The best way to think about is the running term is to use conversational pace. So during this threshold run, you should not be conversational. You shouldn't be able to carry on a conversation with someone. That's a good way to kind of judge your exertion level. It should be difficult. You should be breathing heavy. You shouldn't be able to talk or talk too many to have a fluid conversation with someone. Workout number 3 is the long run. This is light intensity. Now, this run, yes, you should have it should be conversational. You'll be able to carry a conversation with someone. It's just about putting in the volume. So in week 1, run 30 minutes, week 2, 35 minutes, and so on. Keep increasing it. If that's too much, of course, adjust. Start with 20 minutes in week 1, and so on. So these are the 3 runs that will really be very important and useful tools to prepare yourself to structure your training plan around. If you can add a 4th run, that'd be great. It could just be whatever you want. But I would say a minimum 3 runs per week for 4 to 6 weeks, and that'll get you to the finish line. If you have any questions about this, and I know it's a lot of information to take in, at the end of the presentation, I have my email. I'd be happy to help you one-on-one to guide you and give you assistance and even structure a training plan for you. Proper running form. This, everyone has a different running form. It's not that critical. It won't really improve your speed, but it might make you more comfortable. Your head. I see this a lot. Like, don't look down, look straight. It improves, it increases your lungs, lengthens your lungs. So look straight, don't look down. Don't tilt your head, or I'm sorry, tilt your chin up or down. Your shoulders should be relaxed, open, and pulled back. Same thing. More airflow. Your arms should be at a 90-degree angle and close to your sides. Hands should be relaxed and soft. It's all about tension. Tension's not good. Tension builds up stress in the body. So you want to be as relaxed as possible. And as you can see here with these items, it's about relaxing your body. Your feet, cadence should be 170 to 180 strides per minute. That just means that a cadence is how many times your foot hits the ground in a minute. Both feet hit the ground in a minute. So essentially what that means is shorter strides are better. Shorter strides are better. You should land under your body, not in front of your body. There's misconception about whether you should strike with your forefoot, midfoot, or heel. It doesn't really matter, whatever you feel comfortable with. As I mentioned before about measuring your progress, creating a training log, it's helpful to have a fitness tracker like a smartwatch, Garmin, Fitbit, Polar, Apple. If you don't have those, no problem. You can use a free phone application like Strava, MapMyRun, and Runkeeper. What you want to monitor is, say you're doing a muscular workout, number of reps, number of sets, what was the duration of your rest, and how much weight did you use? Aerobic, you want to measure your pace, your distance, your heart rate, and cadence. RPE, that means rate of perceived exertion. So how difficult was it? This is just your own opinion. How difficult was it from a mental perspective on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 would be very, very hard. Like, you can only go for a few seconds, and then goes down to 1, which is doing nothing. So that's helpful too. So like as we were talking about before, a sprint for the intervals of 400-meter repeats, excuse me, that should be a 9 or a 10. Threshold run, that should be like a 7 and 8. And the long run should be more of a 2, 3, and a little bit into the 4s and 5s probably towards the end of the run. And it's very helpful to perform a simulated fitness test every 2 weeks. So just what you want to do is the same conditions of the test you'd have here on base, same time of day. So if usually test at 9 in the morning, do the test at 9 in the morning. Don't do it at like 3 p.m. Same sneakers, use your PT clothes. Same exact, you want to replicate the conditions. It'll make you feel more comfortable. And then when it comes to the test, it just be like second nature. You want to practice your test strategy as far as the nutrition and pacing perspective. Nutrition we'll get into next time, but pacing, you should know how much time you have in order to score what you need to score on the test. So that's where if you have a watch or a phone application, you'll know what you should keep your pace at. Is it 8 minutes and 30 seconds per mile? Is it 9? Is it 8? How much room do you have to spare? So that way, when you're doing the test, you can ensure that your pace is on target to achieve your goal for the fitness test. And then after you do the simulated fitness test, make sure you look at your results and you adjust your training if necessary. Maybe you have to increase your training. Maybe you're on the right track. The workouts aren't working. So that's why it's important to monitor and adjust. Okay. Touched briefly on this earlier. What is your why, right? When your why is big enough, you will find your how. There's so many, everyone has a different reason. Everyone has a different why. Maybe it's image and appearance. Do you want to look good in the mirror? Do you want to look good at the beach? There's nothing wrong with that. Is it your career? If you want to earn that promotion, you're going to have to pass the test, fitness test. You should strive for excellence. Is it financial? Are you going to the doctors a lot? Well, exercise is so beneficial to your health. It'll cut down on your healthcare costs. You'll be going to the doctor less often. You can lower your blood pressure. You can lower your cholesterol. You can do these things, and it's free. Physical function. Do you want to increase your strength, flexibility, and stamina? Is it annoying every time you go up the stairs and you're out of breath? Mental or emotional? Are you lacking self-esteem or confidence? Your mood? Are you always in a bad mood? It's amazing what exercise does to improve your confidence, your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and your mood. Lifespan, health span. Lifespan is how long you live. Your health span is how long the quality of your years are. You want to live longer with a higher quality of life. Do you need a constructive habit? Exercise is a natural treatment for addictive behavior. I know a lot of people in the running community who were on drugs or alcohol, and they joined a running club and changed their life. Now they're not doing those negative habits anymore, and they're doing something productive for their health. Maybe for your family or friends, as I said earlier, you want to be healthy for your kids. You want to be healthy for your loved ones. And you also want to be a positive role model. It could be a combination of these things. I really encourage you to look at yourself, have the self-awareness, and find your why. And I promise you, find your why. You'll know, you will, when you determine your why, you will find your how, and you will change your life. Okay, I'm really excited about this. Strava is a platform for fitness-minded individuals where you can upload your workouts to Strava, and kind of Strava is a community of people who, it's essentially like a social network for fitness, and we can you can upload your activities and kind of do a lot of there's challenges on there. There's different items. You can track your progress. So if you don't have a good log, Strava is a great log and tool to track your progress and your fitness activities. And it's also a way for us to kind of encourage, motivate, inspire each other. That's why this, if you join Strava, search for the 514th Air Mobility Wing Club, and then we can all come together and kind of motivate each other, give each other kudos. We can inspire each other and be inspired. Well, there's also we have a plan in the works to kind of do virtual runs. So a day of the week or on the weekend, we can do virtual runs together. And so we can schedule these events. We can share training advice, workout advice, nutrition advice. So that's the idea with this club. Really encourage you to join. If you follow the steps here, it's really simple. Any issues, please let me know. But would love to have you join the club. Okay, I'm gonna end with the video. So if you give me a second here. Oh, sorry. I guess I have to go elsewhere. Sorry. Sorry for this.
After 30 days, I could not believe my before and after picture. I literally rolled back the hands of...
Here we go.
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep? Don't have enough energy? Don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity potties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7 star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. It's game on. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life, you got a problem with your environment, do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill this way. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my God, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
If you want it, you gotta go get it.
This is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your place. This is your opportunity.
This is my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today. It's your dream. If you want to have it, we show what up and make it happen. If you want to have it, rise and grind.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. It's grind season.
Okay. Hopefully that pumps you up to go outside and go get some exercise done here. So thank you very much for attending today's presentation on physical fitness part 1. If you have any advice, if you'd like advice, or if training tips or resources, or if you need help structuring a plan, please contact me at hello@midlifeathlete.com. I do some personal coaching and training on the side, and I'd love to help you out for free. PowerPoint slides are located there. There's an infographic that I created to kind of give you a quick snapshot on a lot of what we discussed today, and that's available at that link there. If you'd like to be inspired as well as receive some training tips, please feel free to visit midlifeathlete.com. It's my personal blog, and I'm not trying to do a personal plug here, but I think it's very inspirational, and I think you'd find some of the stories inspirational, motivational, and I think that might help you get started. Also, I have a free fitness and nutrition guide that usually I charge for that you can download here. It's free of charge as well. So hopefully some of the things here are useful. And if you have any questions, like I said, please email me. Great to have you again with Wellness 52's presentation on physical fitness, Fit to Fight Part 1, physical fitness, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much.